We are on Let's Talk number 10. We have made it into double digits. That's pretty freaking amazing if you ask me.
Hello girls, welcome to my channel. Let's start.
How do you think years of hateful comments on YouTube has changed you as a person? And do you think if you had a regular job outside of the house, would you have gained so much weight? Basically, do you think YouTube is good for your mental and physical health? So I'm going to start with the beginning of the question about the hateful comments and how has that changed me as a person. This might not make a lot of sense, but it's made me stronger, but it's also made me weaker. Like, I used to hate the quote, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but it's true. The comments, the hate, the bullying, the harassment, it has happened so often. It's so frequent. It's a literal 24/7 thing. Like, I can't go on any social media without seeing something really bad about myself. So it's made me stronger and weaker in that sense, because it's like, wow, okay, so am I really like this horrible, disgusting person that these people think I am?
The problem I see here is that you take criticism as hate. Everyone is a hater. I think you are at a point where you take offense in nearly everything that isn't a compliment directed at you. But I also think that some people say really nasty stuff to you. And that's just not okay.
So then I start to believe it the more I see it, which makes me weaker, which makes me dislike myself more. I begin to start hating myself because I'm seeing these things and I'm starting to believe these things. But then there's like a whole other boss ass bitch attitude where I become numb to it, where I'm just like, oh, this again.
Please don't refer to your fake nail persona. This phase was just embarrassing. Nothing screams girl boss more than some cheap stick-on nails. You do you, boo.
Second part of your question, do I think I would have gained so much weight if I had a regular job? Honestly, if we're being like completely realistic, I feel like if I had like a regular job where I had to leave the house, I don't think I would have had such a huge opportunity to reach almost 600 pounds. I'm not going to blame YouTube. I'm just going to blame the fact that I haven't really had routine in my life for years. It's almost like I haven't really had a purpose, if you will.
I think the problem with YouTube and your weight loss is that you ate so much for YouTube. YouTube enables your binge eating disorder and exploits it. You saw how much coin you were making with mukbangs. And the more ridiculous the thumbnail was, the higher the views were.
That kind of goes deeper and more personal than just like, oh, I don't have a regular, 9-to-5 job. It goes more into it. But I do feel like not having that job and that reason and that purpose to leave the house every single day probably played a big role in my weight gain.
I mean, her life has become so boring to watch. In the dusty era, she was at least out doing things. She had a job. Generally more going on. More people in her life. It was entertaining. Even watching her go to Walmart.
Serious question. As you said, the cycle doesn't exist any longer. Do you really feel you are still in phase 1? So if we're going based off of the phase chart, the cycle chart, the chart that Hater Nation created.
The chart Hater Nation created to have an overview of what's going on with you.
It does look like I'm going through the cycle. It does look like I am kind of in the mixture of like a phase 2 moment, maybe a phase 3. So I wouldn't say that I'm in phase 1. Jokes aside though, I hate this whole cycle phase situation.
So stop. Break the cycle. Don't blame the haters now. Just because we see the signs of your cycle.
Because you guys, it almost is like I'm being mocked for my mental illness, which is frustrating because it's also like, wow, I'm also being mocked because of my eating disorder, which has been happening a lot lately.
Stop right there. Again, you spin the question to fit your narrative of a victim. I get the feeling that's the only purpose of your Let's Talk episodes. No one is mocking you. We just point out what you show us, girl. And to your EDC a therapist.
And it's so weird that like when you come to my channel, it's totally fine. It's like a place for people to bash me, bash mental illnesses, bash eating disorders, fat shame, like it's become accepted in my comment section.
Bashing EDs and fat shaming? Maybe some people are. But most of us are tired of your trolling and are calling you out on it. And don't pretend you never fat or skinny shamed anyone before. Or bashed the mental health of another person.
Next question, have you considered going to rehab center for eating disorders to help with the weight loss? Tammy from 1,000 Pound Sisters has lost a lot of weight from going to rehab. First of all, I want to say congratulations to Tammy because she did lose 100 pounds in 30 days. That's amazing. She did that while being at a rehab facility. A lot of people have been comparing us, saying, you know, if Tammy could do it, you could do it. And I'm just like, I'm not in a rehab center.
In a rehab center, YP could not treat you with takeaway 5 times a day.
So there's a big difference. And this is like no tea, no shade, but she is a little bit bigger than me. The more bigger you are, the faster you can lose weight. Could I lose 100 pounds in 30 days? Probably if I starved myself. Like, yeah.
It would take way more than a month to starve yourself. Sorry, Amber. Our girl feels so dainty next to Tammy.
But I hate when people like sit there, they get so mad at me for comparing myself to other YouTubers, but like y'all compare me to other fat people like all the time. Not every single fat person is created the same. We are all completely different people.
Well, you and Tammy share more things than you and Trisha.
But using Tammy as an example, from what I've seen through the episodes, once she left rehab, you know, she gained all the way back. She wasn't under the supervision of professionals. She wasn't restricted, if you will. Like being in rehab, like you're kind of restricted into your own. Like you don't have the freedom.
That's the point. Else no one could help her anymore. Some people need this kind of help. I think you do too.
So it's like all the hard work that she went through the first time she went to rehab kind of just like went away. And using that example, that's very much exactly what would happen.
So, you're using her failure as an excuse not to try rehab? Wait, what was that again about? We should not compare you to.
Y'all compare me to other fat people like all the time. Not every single fat person is created the same. We are all completely different people.
Second, she lost a significant amount of weight and gained it right back? Where have I seen this before?
Y'all compare me to other fat people like all the time. Not every single fat person is created the same. We are all completely different people.
What does support mean to you when you talk about your girlfriend? She congratulates me when I lose weight. Like she actually is thrilled for me when I'm like, okay, I want to walk to the mailbox 6 times. And I remember this distinctively, like I stopped at the 5th one and she looked at me and said, babe, I know you can do it. Let's do this. She grabbed my hand and she went with me and I did it. You know, if it wasn't for her doing that, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have reached my goal of doing 6. Anyone else would have just been like, oh, I totally get it. Like, you're totally tired. Let's go back inside.
Sorry, girl. But this sounds so made up. Why don't you vlog your exercises if you do so many of them? No. You choose to upload takeaway binges. The comment of the person wasn't hate. Just a reaction to what you are showing us.
So now that you have lost some weight and you talk a lot about 2019 being the hardest year, can you tell us some things that you haven't told us before about being at your heaviest weight? Oh boy. There's quite a few things that I could tell you guys, but I'm not sure if I'm comfy enough doing that. But there's one thing that to me, okay, no, there's 2 things. There's 2 things I'm gonna tell you that to me like should have been a wake-up call besides me getting diagnosed with cancer. The first thing is it's pretty bad, but not as bad as the other thing I'm about to tell you guys, which I don't even know. Should I tell you guys this? Ew. So the first thing is, which this has been on my mind lately actually, because in bed now, like I'm rolling around, I'm plopping, jumping, like I'm just like, I feel like a completely different person. It is so weird. And I know I'm down only like 80+ pounds, but it feels like I'm down a couple hundred. And I know a lot of people are like, how come you act like you've lost so much weight when you haven't? It's just how it feels. It's literally how it feels. It's so very non-scale victory. Like, okay, yeah, cool. I'm down over 80 pounds, which feels fucking amazing, but it feels like I'm down like 300.
I think that's your problem with your overeating recently. Yes, you have lost 80 pounds, but you are not doing so well anymore. I think you allow yourself to not care as much as you did before, probably because, oh, I lost 80 pounds once. I can do that easily again if I gain it all back now. I have been there too.
Okay, yes, I troll. Whatever. Trolling has entered the chat. Trolling is fucking fun, okay? Like, I am obsessed with being the troll queen. Like, literal trolling entered the chat.
Good for trolling. But stop being surprised or offended when your viewers don't take it so well. And call you out on it. I'm not trolling you guys.
But in the middle of all that, I am making progress in areas that you guys can't see, areas that I don't talk to you guys about. So now that we're here, I shower every single day. I honestly love showering. I love feeling the water just run down over me. I love singing in the shower. Singing in the shower. And the fact that I can sing in the shower, let alone sing Skyscraper by Demi Lovato and like not be out of breath while hitting those high ass notes, just goes to show like, wow, okay, you're doing your thing, Amberlynn. So being able to do that with literally no issue, like I'm able to clean my body with no issue. I'm able to stand with no issue. Like I'm just like a normal person in the shower, besides like I'm fat and all. But I know people think that like I don't shower like a normal person, but I promise you, I literally do. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because in 2019, oh my God, I don't even think, okay, so pretty sure the only people who know this is two people, my ex and my current girlfriend. Yeah, like I had roommates then and I don't even think they knew this. So, oh God, do I want to share this? I'm like, I'm actually nervous. I'm nervous is what it is. So, I couldn't shower at all. There was a large portion of 2019, if not the whole 2019, where I literally couldn't shower. Oh my God, okay. I bathed in bed. That's so hard to say. Whew, okay, so I'm sharing this because I'm proud of how far I've come. And I don't know who's watching me right now, but if you're bathing in bed, or if you can only shower for a couple minutes because it hurts to stand, things can change.
Saint Amberlynn, the bedbound queen, who speaks to her folk. Sorry, I can't. That heavy topic, after saying you are the troll queen? I do think you needed help back then, but I also think you currently need help. There is no shame there.
Like, in 2019, I honestly thought that was it. Like, this was my life. And Becky and I promised not to talk about each other, but like, she was there for me through it all. And it's like, so grateful that she loved me unconditionally like that.
Doubt. You treated Becky horribly. Also, caretaker Becky confirmed.
So now, me standing in the shower with the water running down and like me singing, like it's a whole aspect of my day that like, I used to want so bad. Oh my God.
But never forget, hot Cheeto tacos are more important than the freedom of your own body.
What do you think about Dana's weight loss success? I am so happy for her. Honestly, Dana, if you're watching this, I freaking love you and I'm so proud of you.
I think you are more happy that Donna and Dusty broke up. More so that allegedly Donna cheated on Dusty. And Dusty got what she deserved.
Okay, so this is the last question I'm going to do. If you hated Kentucky so much as you always complained but stated you were only there for Becky, then why didn't you and your girlfriend move somewhere else? I personally am not ready to leave this apartment. I love it here, but I know that I just don't belong in Kentucky.
I think the whole Kentucky situation type deal moment was just to make Becky feel bad. Imagine your partner always putting down your home like that. And now it doesn't really matter if Amber lives in Kentucky, New York or even Europe. She wouldn't leave her apartment either way. So what's the difference?
Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.